tip to our sponsor. And now a hat tip to our sponsors. The EGRL is supported.
And we're back. Day two of the Emerging Weekend. I'm joined here with my partner, Marissa Kogan, a.k.a. the Mad Dog, who will be taking her rugby and broadcasting talents for a degree up at Syracuse this coming fall. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be back for the second day. I can't wait to see a few more games today.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just do this. We'll move this over here. So this is today's roster for Corning. We're obviously pretty familiar with the red and black jersey, so shouldn't have a problem calling that out. But if you want to work that side of it, or whichever you're more comfortable with. If you want me to do this, and I'll do the Morris.
Either one.
Okay. So, okay, just working out some technical questions here between myself and my colleague, but we have another beautiful day out here in Clinton Township at Bunt Park. Many thanks to the Eisenhart family who work very closely with the township and the rec department to get us these terrific fields today, and just another wonderful day of rugby. Today's clash, the first one up, will be the Morris Emerging versus Corning, New York. What we saw was a good side coming out of the southern tier of New York yesterday.
Yeah, I definitely think that based off of what I watched yesterday with Corning, they are one of the more competitive teams that I've seen this weekend, and I'm very interested to see how they line up against Morris's younger U16 side, the Motley crew they have playing. I think it'll be a great game.
I agree, and I was just looking at their roster, and something that I didn't notice yesterday is this is a pretty young team. It's the predominance are juniors and sophomores, with only 3 graduating players. So, they put on a pretty good show for having the underclassmen and the juniors that they have. So pretty well schooled.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have a great future because they have a lot of strong players who will be there for a few more years.
100%. Nice folks on the coaching staff as well. Had a quick chat with them about the roster prior to, so no changes from yesterday, no wholesale changes from yesterday. So hopefully we'll be able to get you the names associated to the jerseys well today. We have a guest referee from the United Kingdom, Morris, who is actually here. His wife is on assignment with work. Morris joined her and has been plying his talents in the reffing capacity in the United States in the past month or so. He's also was telling us he's an employee of the RFU, which is the governing body for English rugby. He does training, throwing training for the universities around the country, as well as certifying coaches at level 1 and 2 in southern England. So glad to have somebody of that caliber running the center of the pitch for us today.
Definitely interesting. We had some good refs yesterday, new ref today, fresh blood. It's always good to see lots of people getting involved, getting a chance to showcase their talents in all these different ways.
I agree, and I think you bring up a good point. Yesterday's officiating was pretty darn good. We're getting the high sign from Coach Bill Dobbs, who seems has a bit of pep in his step for today's games, as well as his compadre Mike Eisenhart, who will be joining us on this side of the sideline shortly. So we're 12:05. Okay, we are a 12:05 kickoff, a little bit delayed to the ID camp, and there's the first whistle bringing the captains together. I think we should be good.
I didn't know if you wanted to read it off.
Oh, you can do that. So let me get started here with the Morris lineup, and then Marissa, why don't you take us through Corning?
Okay.
Starting at number 1, we have Anna and playing the loose head. Abby Barati playing hooker. Sienna Miller at the tight head spot. Tegan Mendel at 4. Maria Wise at 5. Charlotte Beater playing 6. And we have Erin O'Brien, who is a late add. Glad to see her back out there at the number 7 position. So a little bit of an ankle injury that she's going to tough it out and play through with today. Kayla Ronsky playing the 8 and had a really good game there yesterday. Abby Cirillo in the 9, same thing. Amanda Corfin in the 10 jersey, happy to see that. Sosie Honing at the 11. Maddie Gonsalves at 12. Her partner at the outside center, Nora Landerman. And then Rowan DeWitt on the far wing, and Fiona Cusack playing that 15 role, that very important fly-half role. Pardon me, fullback role.
All right. Some of the numbers don't line up on the Corning jerseys, so I'm just going to read their names. So we have Sylvie Bilkari, Ember Moses, Jalen Butler, Cadence Ector, Zoe Harmer, Kylie Richards, Ella Coster, Kendra Close, Keegan Rhodes, Catherine Uyang, Julia Gridley, Amanda Stevens, Josie Lober, Tori Holmes, and Michaela Reed as our starting 15. Of those names, only 3 are seniors.
That's amazing. So a young side out there, but definitely well coached and well drilled, and you see some good rugby IQ in that blue hoop jersey. So action has started as we were reading off the rosters. It's going line out in favor of Corning.
Definitely a close game to begin with. Play hasn't moved much too far away from the 50 so far.
100%. Hard charging run here.
Breaking through all the Morris lines is number 12. That would be Amanda Stevens.
She is finally slowed down just past the 10-meter. But Corning moving the ball really well back there, Marissa.
They're definitely using the whole field to their advantage, bringing it out to the wings, and it's working for them.
Absolutely. That's what we were talking about yesterday. In some instances, yes. In some instances, no, using the whole field, right?
There were quite a few teams yesterday who had the tendency to bunch, and it was very noticeable in the way they played. So I'm glad to see both these teams so far using the full width of the field. Looks like they're going to scrum it down on the far end of the field due to a knock-on by Corning.
Almost dead between the 22 and the 10. So let's get a look-see here. So enough good pressure from Morris to get the ball turned over, or at least the attempt to get into a scrummaging position here. So let's see what Morris can bring to the table. Cirillo's got the ball nice and easy. She opts to pick and go off the back and then dishes out to her 10, Corfin. Corfin looks for Sosi Honing. Honing with sleek hands right there is able to hold off, and there's Corfin sealing it off. Nice dish there to Ronsky. Ronsky takes it in for 5 hard yards. And Cirillo's there to recycle again. Beater takes one out of the air right there. Bit of a hospital pass. She's able to dish it off, and it looks like to Sydney Sabilla. And here we go. Tegan Mendel doing a great job there with some hard charging, trundling run. Ball is cycling out the far side. Erin O'Brien right there on a nice carry. Ball's recycled. Nice work on the attack here from the red and black jersey.
Yep. You can definitely see that Morris is using their pods, always support there during the rucks. You can see there, they had 2 people in that ruck, and Corning chose not to contest, but they were ready nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Corning is opting to keep their players, in that kind of attacking defense position as opposed to committing to the rucks there. That's, it's a different school of thought and sometimes very effective. So Anna taken down pretty hard right at the 50, and she's lost the ball forward. There's a not releasing penalty.
So it looks like there's going to be a toe and go right on the 50 for Corning to restart. They're going to choose to kick it, and it will not find touch. Whose hands will it find?
Sosi Honing. Sosi very steady back there, good hands. She's able, big counter ruck there from Anna. We're losing a little.
Charlotte Bitar trying to break through the Corning line.
It appears she was driven out. Am I correct?
I think so. Looks like they're setting up for a line out. Unfortunately, that's right where our vision stops.
All right, we wish you the best. Okay, well taken by Corning. Slicing run from the outside center. Corning is stopped just north of the 22. The 10 looking to go wide, running a little across the field.
And Morris is already there.
Absolutely contained, thankfully.
Strong rucking by Corning.
Marissa, I'm really liking this Corning attacking shape. It's pretty deadly.
Both these teams have definitely showed out this morning. They are recovered from yesterday's multitude of games, and looks like they are both ready to play because this has been a great game so far.
Outside center shakes a tackle. She makes some big yards here, just north of the 5. Man, this is just some punishing running coming out of Corning.
You can tell that Corning is looking for these openings and trying to use them.
Absolutely, and they're looking for that early game score, right? They want to set a precedent here. So, but they've got runners from depth, right? And they've got nice flat passes, making it easy to catch and handle. And then these players are making those heavy yards.
Great offloads as well.
Morris defense so far bending but not breaking, as we like to say, and scrambling well. Let's see if we can get that line speed. We've got knock on. Oh, pardon me. It's a whistle for an injury. We're going to be looking for, the sir was saying that it looked like it was a head knock. So this will definitely require what they call an HIA, which is the head injury assessment protocol, which is super important. As we know, concussions are not something to be taken lightly these days.
Absolutely. So both teams are going to take a little break. And hopefully shortly our Morris injured player will be well on her way, and the game will resume with a ball not too far from Corning's try line.
Unlucky knock to the head. That stoppage of play, I think, was not to take anything away from the injured player, but a lucky moment for Morris to kind of take the wind out of those attacking sails of that blue hoop jersey, because man, they were looking threatening.
They had great momentum making their way down the field. They are very close to scoring if they can keep that perseverance up. They definitely knew what they were doing and trying to breaking through those lines.
Hard runners, like we were saying, hard runners coming from depth, sympathetic passes, right? Nice flat pass right into the hands. It's not a rocket that you've got to bobble and work with that then you cause a knock-on with. Really, really well done and calm under pressure, which is the other component, right? Sometimes you get into that 22 and that try-line fever kicks in, and that's where the mistakes happen.
Yep. No, but both teams so far are looking great this morning. I can already tell that this is going to be a very good and competitive game.
Absolutely. Maria Wise was the individual who unfortunately took the knock to the head. She is thankfully walking off under her own power. We'll see who got in as a substitution for Maria. She's checked out for the head knock.
Looks like they're going to restart with a scrum.
So we had an opportunity to chat with the Sir before the game for quite a bit, and really liked his approach to managing the game. Safety was a huge component for him, even talking to us about the goalpost, the temporaries, making sure there were pads. They're big attacking format for platform here from Corning. They're working that. They look like they've rounded that corner,
Yep.
and they're going to dot it down.
And I loved what I was seeing after they passed. Players were looping to be in support, to continuing on that side of the field, just in case there needed to be one more pass or two more passes. That is brilliant rugby right there. That is the only way they were going to make it that far down the field. So we're going to start out with a try by Corning. Did you get a number on that runner?
I want to say it was either the fullback or the far side wing. So let's take a look there. And then I think the kicking duties are going to the inside center, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw 12 on the back of that jersey. Apologies, folks. A little tough to see at the distance. We'll try to get you better on the names here for the visiting side. So Corning has come to play.
I definitely think that now that one team is on the board, we're going to see a lot more push by Morris because they want to get that back. And I think the motivation on both teams so far for this game is going to make it very good rugby.
Absolutely. And the conversion is good. So that's 7-0 to Corning. That kick was actually, if I'm not mistaken, by the winger number 11. And we keep losing the roster.
I'm pretty sure number 11 was kicking for them yesterday. So I think that would be correct.
That would be Julia Gridley. And
So it sounds like number 14 was our try scorer.
So the other wing was our try scorer, and if you want to grab a name on that.
Torrey Holmes Jr. from Corning.
Here we go, another slicing run coming down.
Great run, breaking through Morris lines, and finally
right here
stopped
from the
by Fiona
fullback.
Cusack.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, Morris scrambling their defense. Their big caterpillar rucking going on there. Penalties going towards Morris. Lucky moment for them, not releasing and taking the wind out of another attacking sail right here.
All right, Morris is going to restart play right inside the 50, and they will find touch right past the 50.
Cirillo puts the boot to it, finds touch, and we're getting set for what I believe is Morris's first put in on the line out.
Pretty sure this is their first line out. I think the other two have been
Throw-in,
Corning so
pardon
far.
me. Yes, I believe so. So, I think, I'm seeing some kind of shocked faces on the Morris players right now. I don't think they expected the tempo and intensity that Corning is bringing in the first 5 to 7 minutes of this game.
I am very happy with the way that both teams are playing so far, though.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that both of them have their energy regained, because yesterday teams were getting a little tired, and they're both motivated. This was not supposed to be an easy game for either team.
Okay, so that was almost a fireball, but well taken by O'Brien. She's able to settle the ball, and Morris is on the attack. And players down, it looks like Rowan DeWitt on the far side. It's dished out by our 9. It's going into the hands, the competent hands of Starkweather. Starkweather rolls it back. Cirillo covers. There goes O'Brien on a big run again. She's a little bit isolated. Support does get there in the form of Starkweather. And then ball is played back by our hooker Barati. A knock-on is going to be called in favor of Morris, it appears.
We're going to have another scrum pretty close to the 50. I would say besides the cycling and the try that was already scored a few minutes ago, the play between these teams has been pretty much kept within the 10s so far, which just shows you how competitive and how matched these two teams are.
Absolutely. I think you're right. I think Morris's turn has clicked into the game. You know, I think the first 5 minutes were certainly in Corning's favor because they just came out on the front foot, but Morris is starting to stabilize. Abby Cirillo with the pick and go, and then dishes off to her 10, Corfin, who's slicing through runners. We've got Starkweather there on the support. Kayla picks up and carries, gets a couple of yards, dishes out. Beater takes it off the chest and knocks it forward. The arm's up.
Yep. 2 knocks right there. So it's going to go based off of the first one, and it's going to be a scrum to Corning, pretty much on the opposite end of the 50 that they just scrummed down on like a minute ago.
So I like the tempo that Morris is bringing. I think they just need to notch it down 1, right, in order to be able to hold on to those, making sure we're getting good passes out to first receiver.
Yep, you cannot forget the fundamentals when it comes to having your head in the game. You need to be motivated, yes, but you also need to remember that you're still playing rugby. You still need to have some of those skills that are so dire in the game.
Corning on the attack. Holding on, pretty stalwart defense from the red and black jersey, but Corning holding on to possession. They're making a hard run up the gut into contact and the counter-rucking. And it looks like Kayla Ronsky's able to turn it over. Nice poach from Ronsky, and Morris is back on the attack.
I was very surprised by that because both teams have had such strong rucks so far this game, really defending their balls. So that poach was a little bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, and not easy to do against this Corning side, and hats off to Ronsky on that work there. There's Beater with a sympathetic pass. She's able to make some yards, control the ball, and get the yards that we're looking for. Oh, and it's poached.
There wasn't enough support there. Corning was able to win that ruck. So now Morris will have to reset and get in a straight line for defense.
This is a back and forth. Wow, this is terrific. If you hear some pauses in the game, I think it's because we're kind of sitting here open-mouthed, slack-jawed as we're watching the action.
I know. This is a great way to start it's morning, right? This is the great way to start the morning today. This is a very good game of rugby by both teams so far.
It's a back and forth, and I think you put it right. It's not even between the 22s. It's between the 10s right now.
Yeah. I definitely like a competitive game. I like when both teams are even because it's not very entertaining to watch one team just blow out another. There's no suspense.
You know, and that's kind of the philosophy of this weekend, right? This is what this weekend is built on.
Absolutely.
Exactly that.
All right, Corning is going to pass it out, trying to get it wide.
Corning on the attack, a little bit of loose ball in the ruck there. It looks like they'll be able to contain being hard contested, and the penalty is going to go Morris's way for an offside. Let's see what Cirillo opts to do. Cirillo decides for the quick toe and go.
And
she's looking for space.
That was smart because half of Corning's team was turned around, walking back to their mark.
Absolutely. Yeah, take advantage of that back turn, right? Always go the back pedal on that 10-meter.
Absolutely. That is just something that you have to learn. The more you play the game, the more you'll realize some teams will take advantage of that momentary lapse in playing.
Hey, we just saw it again because that second penalty on an offside, and Cirillo took advantage of that, that hoop jersey turned around on her, and she's able to make some hard yards there.
Some very strong tackling by Morris in the far end of the field.
Ball's turned over. It's going Corning, just north of their 22. Corning settling the ball. Pick and go is
Just getting
turtled
stopped.
back and dropped onto the pile. That's a favorite of Coach Dobbs's right there.
Morris has read these pod plays of theirs right off the ruck. They're just going to give it to a pack of 2 or 3 strong forwards. Oh, turnover.
Stripped, and
I
it
think
looked like
it's-
Sienna Miller.
I think that was Tegan.
Oh, was that Tegan? Okay, Tegan Mendel on the carry. She's having a game today,
It's a
folks.
number 5, so I'm pretty sure that was Tegan. Great run and useful way to react to that turnover. They are so close to the try line.
I think you want to consider other options in the pick and go when you're north or in your 22 there, because that's the, as Coach Dobbs and Coach Michael tell you, that's the easiest thing to defend.
Corning is very bunched right now. If they get it out to Nora or Sosi right here on this end, they will have no problem. And it looks like Morris was able to push it in.
So tight in that far corner. Morris dots down for 5. This is going to be a pretty challenging kick, and let's see who they elect to take these duties.
I did not see who actually scored the try. So many players were on the ground over there trying to support each other.
Yeah, nor did I, and hopefully we can find out after the game, but let's call that a team effort.
Absolutely.
And what I liked about this try was there was a shift in momentum here, right? Morris started just south of their 50 and started working it down. They took advantage. I should say specifically, Cirillo took advantage of 2 penalties with backs turned and made some hard yards, which really put him in that scoring position.
And there was a momentary turnover, but they got the ball back, and that just shows how persevering this Morris team is. They were hungry. They wanted that try, and they worked for it.
Well said. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think Morris is feeling better about this first half, but there's certainly those faces out there belie focus, and I think that's what we're going to continue to see here.
All right, kick is good, and that was Abby Cirillo on the kick.
That was an amazing kick.
That will turn the score even again. It's a tie game.
7-7. Well into the first half. We're hearing her compatriots congratulate her on a kick. And folks, for those at home who are watching and maybe don't know, like what happens is where you dot the ball down in the try zone, or AKA the end zone for our gridiron fans, is where you bring the ball back from 10 meters and kick for the extra points. So when it's dotted down in the corners, ideally you want it dotted down and under the uprights.
Which is why you'll see players get into the zone but still try to run towards the middle as much as they can to make that kick easier, because those 2 points really mean a lot.
They win games. I mean, they end up winning games. So, and then, point further to where that ball's kicked from, super challenging kick for any kicker, right? And
Absolutely.
Cirillo slots it.
Great running by, I think that was Emily Starkweather.
Beat her on another hard carry there, and support is there. Cirillo's able to recycle. Anna Y gets it. She's making more hard yards here. She's breaking through 15 hard yards right there, folks. Nice work. Oh, a little bit of a gator roll there, getting out of the ruck. High ball, well fielded by Corfin.
And they're going to swing it
Gonsalves out to Landerman. Landerman,
more.
unselfish, but unfortunately unable to get off a clean one.
Luckily, Amanda Corfin was able to get there and try and support. Unfortunately, not enough, and it will be a turnover right in front of us.
Wow.
Corning will get the ball right at the 50.
Marissa, I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying this game. I almost wish I was a spectator right now.
This is definitely a very, very good game.
Absolutely.
Both of these teams should be pretty happy with the way they're playing, but also motivated to want to play better than the other team because they are even.
Tempo matching tempo, hits matching hits, talent matching talent. Great ideas out there. Forward with a big run here for Corning.
Yep.
Tegan rolls away, gets back on sides. Ball's out.
And they're going to kick it. We have some Corning players trying to run for it, but not near close enough. Fiona Cusack making a run, breaking through tackles. Sosi is right there trying to... Ooh, unfortunately, the ball became loose, and it will be turned over to Corning.
That was really well done by that Corning player. We'll get your name right there. Dove on the ball, kept the possession for her team. That was
8.
the number 8, and that would be Kendra Close. heard her name a lot yesterday. She's an impact player for this team for certain. Corning
Morris.
holding onto the ball under some Morris pressure.
Yeah, Morris has reset their defense, and they have very strong line. They are stopping these players. Oh, beautiful
Slicing
offload.
run.
That
Oh.
was very smart. Because of that tackle, there was a wide opening, so that offload was very smart.
That carry looked like it came from OU Yang. They're 10. Good slicing run right there. And the right here, Corning is still well in control and just north of the Morris 22.
Corning is just pushing their way down the field.
Oh, a break again from Close. Close just making the hard yards here, Marissa.
All right, and we will see a whistle.
Okay, it's penalty just within the 5. I guess Close was tackled down and unfortunately was unable to secure and get the ball back cleanly to her team, so not releasing is the call. Unfortunately, we have a player down on the Corning side. We'll let you know what's going on there.
Yep, unfortunately, this is another break right when Corning is getting close to the try-zone.
Very
See,
unlucky.
This is the same area where our Morris player unfortunately got injured as well.
Very unlucky for Corning. Yeah, I mean, that's, unfortunately, that's the way the ball bounces in rugby, right? Sometimes it's just, sometimes it goes your way, and sometimes the momentum kind of slips away quickly.
Mm-hmm. And this is nothing on the player. Of course, the player who's down, I hope that they're going to be all right. And obviously, safety is of the utmost importance in any kind of game, especially one like this when you really are, of course, you're tackling somebody else, but you always have to remember that safety first. This is supposed to be fun, not dangerous.
100%. 100%. So our trainers out there checking in on the down player.
Looks like Corning is going to try to find a sub.
Okay, that's the half. So we're going to end it on an injury. We're hoping that we'll try to get your name and a number on that jersey that's down, and we want to see her walk off under her own power. But Marissa, I mean, fantastic. Notwithstanding the injuries, fantastic first half from both sides.
I love that we're going into halftime tied because that means that both players both teams will hopefully enter the second half hungry to be the player the player and team that come out on top. I think that this is a well-deserved break. Both teams have been pushing really hard and working really hard to move the ball as much as they can.
Absolutely.
So drink some water, get back out there, and do it some more because what I've seen so far is just great rugby.
Very exciting rugby. Very, very exciting rugby. So I think we'll take a moment while we've got the time here, and we'll do a little bit of a word from our sponsors.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Marissa.
And now a hat tip to our sponsors. The EGRL is supported by Basecamp 31. What's that? Well, we're so glad you asked. Located in Clinton, New Jersey and incorporated way back in 2004, Basecamp 31 is a nonprofit that works to build and support efforts that improve health, build community, and promote personal development. The kinds of things that push people to grow and communities to thrive, like the Elite Girls Rugby League. Learn more at basecamp31.org. And Steamroller Rugby Supply. Look, here's the bottom line. Rugby isn't just some game where you throw the ball backward. It's a global tribe. It's not only about sharp skills, it's about looking sharp and a high-quality kit. When you want top quality at fair prices with personalized service, you want Steamroller Rugby Supply. Visit us at steamrollerrugby.com. Have you ever noticed how many sports leagues and teams are sponsored by physical therapists, trainers, and other similar professionals? It's almost like they're expecting you to get hurt and want to be top of mind. Not if, but when you do. What would you call a team of those same types of professionals that do treat injuries but spend most of their time working with you to prevent them instead? Some people call them crazy. They call themselves proactivity, and their customers usually call them first. It's not rehab, it's human achievement, and they've been doing so with top athletes and employers since 1998. Got a business that would get into supporting these great athletes too? We'd love to have you advertise with us. Send our ad minions a note. Email admin@egrl.org.
All right, and we are back with the second half of Morris, Motley, U16, and Corning. I am joined by Reagan. Reagan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I currently play for Doylestown. I'm a junior, and I was participating in the USA rugby camp earlier today, and decided to stick around to watch some more rugby.
Great. So, Reagan, what is one thing you noticed during the first half of this game?
I definitely saw some physicality, a lot of punches, and a lot of quick takes, as far as catching them off guard and taking advantage of A's and B gaps.
Absolutely. It seems to be like a pretty close game. We're going into the second half with an even score, and we will start with a kickoff by Corning to Morris. Ball is up, and we will start with Nora. Nora making a great run. Support is there. And the ball will go out to, I think that's Anna. Morris seems to be kind of chugging their way along the field, but absolutely getting stopped by Corning's defense. Great run by Sienna.
Very quick 2s and 3s.
We've been seeing a lot of pods by both of these teams today, and both teams also trying to seem to be working against it. What are the benefits of a pod, Reagan?
Well, you definitely have momentum when you take the ball on pace. So you have the momentum to kind of run in and run past the defense.
All right, looks like there was a turnover, and Corning will take the ball down, and that's number 11 making a great run with an offload, but by I think it was
Gridley.
Yep, she's also their kicker. So there's been a whistle, and looks like we will resume play with a scrum to Morris right near the try line. That was just an unfortunate turnover, but great use of events by Corning. They just made their way down the field so quickly. So it was a forward pass, which is why we're going into a scrum. So there we have Abby Cirillo making a run for it off the scrum. Quick pass to Amanda Corfin, just breaking through the line. Strong running by Kayla Ronsky trying to break her way through that line, and unfortunately it's turned over again, so Corning will resume possession. So we just got news that the Morris's try, who we did not give a name to in the first half, was Emily Starkweather. So kudos to her. As Corning makes their way down the field, looks like that we will have another stop. Can you see the ref?
Looks just like a penalty on Morris.
Okay, so we will start with Corning ball. Looks like she will kick it and
Line out to Corning.
okay. This seems to be a pretty even game still so far going into the second half. Both teams are definitely looking for who's going to be the next try scorer of the game. Obviously, when it's tied like this, the motivation just amps up really high, but both teams need to remember the fundamentals of the game, making sure they're playing solid rugby. That's the only way they're going to make it.
Definitely seems like a try-for-try, meter-for-meter game at this point.
Corning continuing to make their way down the field after that line out.
Still really strong work by their forwards.
They are just trying to break through that strong defensive line by Morris. And Morris is just stopping them. Runner's going to take it wide, just short of the try line. Quick pass out. One more.
Julia Gridley has it back.
And
She scores.
she will touch it down. That was great work by Corning, making their way down the field. They finally passed it wide after realizing that Just one pass and punching it with the forwards was not working for them with that Morris defense, and they took advantage of taking it out wide when Morris seemed to be a little bunched.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how I'd like to see pulling it out to the outside, and they read my mind.
At the beginning of this game, both teams seemed to be pretty widespread and using advantage of the whole field. Steph and I talked about how yesterday we watched quite a few teams stay bunched for the whole game, and it did not work to their advantage. So looks like Julia Gridley will kick for her own try, and unfortunately it is no good, which brings our score to 12-7 in favor of Corning, although I have no doubt that Morris is going to try to match up and get back closer to them on the board.
Definitely, I'd like to see Corning get this back and try and bring it back into their territory again.
Great kick by Abby Cirillo. And
Back forward.
Yep, right off the kickoff. Looks like they're going to play the advantage. Because of that kick, Morris is already deep into that end of the field. Hopefully they can continue making their way down. Strong running by, I believe that is Emily Starkweather. They just can't get her down. And Morris will continue. There are a lot of strong forwards on both teams today that are just barreling through these defensive lines. I think both teams have that in their
Corning gets it
favor.
back, but a penalty gives it back to Morris.
Throughout the game, we've been hearing all the subs on both teams just cheering on their teammates on the field, and I love that support. Rugby is one of those games where you know you're going to have somebody cheering for you, not just parents and spectators, but also your own teammates.
Yeah, definitely makes the game more fun when you have support.
All right,
On and
Morris
off the
swings
field.
it wide, goes out to the wings. Right now, I believe Rowan has it. And they're going to pass it back, making their way towards the center.
Strong punches in. I'd like to see them take it outside. There seems to be a 3-on-1 on the outside.
Absolutely. If they just a few more passes, they have it. Smart offload. Corning trying to regroup and bring their players out wide because they can see Morris is moving that way.
Girls, try line! Hurry! Try line!
Looks like there's going to be another
Try line!
It's like no
late
advantage
call
game.
for a penalty. And again, Abby Cirillo with the quick play off of a penalty. We saw that a few times in the first half, and it worked to their advantage and eventually led to Morris's first try of the game because Corning was just not ready. And it looks like it works again for Morris as they touch it down for another try. And it is again Emily Starkweather, I believe. Great effort by Morris to make their way down the field. And even though the try scorer was the same, for both tries, it was still a team effort. All players were trying to make it through and break that Corning line. And
Right.
this kick seems like it's going to be a little bit easier for Cirillo. Last kick was pretty much towards the touch zone, but this one seems to be more centered, so we'll see once it's up if they will tie or take the lead.
That's Starkey's too.
Yeah, I think between all of the phases, I think it touched pretty much every teammate's hands.
And the kick is good, which means Morris will take the lead, and it will be 14-12.
Think about 2 players of the match from either side, and then we'll get them interviewed after the game. So my recommendation, but you tell me otherwise, is 10 and 15 over here, but there's still rugby to play, and then up to you guys on the red and black.
So now Morris has taken the lead. Steph and I discussed this in the beginning in the first half, but those kicks really mean a lot. 2 points may not sound like a huge difference, but Morris being able to make both of their kicks has given them an advantage over Corning at this point in the game. And they will start with the ball off the kickoff. Very deep kick. Strong run by Emily Starkweather, and support is already there for the ruck.
Corning's a little bunched. I like to see them spread out a little bit. And Morris is taking advantage of that.
Wonderful run by Maddie Gonsalves. And unfortunately, Corning dominates that ruck. Morris is able to keep their possession. Strong run by Charlotte Bitar. I definitely noticed what you're saying about Corning being bunched, though. Looks like on their defensive end, they're not really a line. They're more of a clump. And they are stopping Morris, but if they solidify a line on defense, I have no doubt that they will stop Morris even more. And looks like they are able to get possession, turnover, right at the 50. Seems like a lot of this game is happening around the 50.
Yeah, and on that note, the bunch is helping with the pods, but if Morris had moved it outside, they would have had quite a bit of an overload.
All right, Corning is choosing to just have a pod right next to the last breakdown, not moving it very far out to the other areas of the field, which is not working really offensively because a lot of Morris's strongest players are going to be right near that breakdown. Taking about 3 Morris players, and they're holding her up.
Looks like a maul is called.
It will be a maul. You can see players from both teams just running in trying to support. All right, looks like we're going to have a scrum down right around the 10. And Corning is going to make a sub. Looks like our number 25 is coming in. That will be Desiree Stickler.
Coming in for number 7, Ella Kosier.
Wonderful. All right. There haven't been too many scrums this game. There were definitely a few games yesterday that had quite a few scrums, which can be very tiring for forwards. But so far, all the scrums have been pretty clean and good efforts by both teams.
I will say, as a forward, definitely games that have a lot of scrums are not the most fun.
They're just so tiring because there was a game, I think it was Morris's last game yesterday, there were like 3 scrums within 5 minutes, and I was just sitting over here thinking, oh my gosh, if that was me. Oh.
Yes, especially when you win the scrum and then you get it out to your backs and then they knock it on.
Looks like there will be a turnover. Corning will regain possession right around the 50. Morris didn't gain too much yardage on their last possession. Corning is making their way down the field. They are using the width of the field.
Must have been a knock-on.
There will be a knock-on. I feel like I jinxed it. I just said there weren't too many scrums, and now they're scrumming again. All right, and ball is in on the scrum. Strong push by Morris, but well within the high school guidelines. And Abby Cirillo will take it and run, pass it out to the backs. A little bit of sloppy passing, but they're able to maintain possession. Strong run by Nora.
Quick 2 and 3.
And the forwards are already there after the scrum to support, but
A diving over call on Corning.
Yep. You can definitely tell that both teams are losing just a smidgen of discipline this far into the game. They're probably both tired because this game has been so competitive. And the ball will find touch after a kick by Abby Cirillo, and we will have a line out just halfway between the try zone and the 50.
Hey, Zoe, when they move, you don't move. Just go up. If they walk in, you stay still.
All right. Morris's line out, and they are choosing to have a full line out, all the players in there. And unfortunately, neither team is able to keep their jumpers up, but Morris is able to get the ball
Retrieved
and
by number
continue their
6.
possession. They're going to take it wide. Nope. Amanda Corfin with the kick. And unfortunately, Morris's chasers were not able to
Gained
get there in
back by
time.
Corning.
Oh, wow. Strong running.
A lot of space.
And stopped by Fiona Cusack, but unfortunately, Corning had support there.
You know, on that one, I'd like to see the ball moved from the right side to the left side. That way she has that right side open for fending, and she could have taken that outside more.
Very wise. Both teams have finally made their way that far into the field, and another turnover. Morris will regain possession, but they are so far down the field now. Looks like the ref is going to call a timeout. Unfortunately, there is another injury. I cannot tell which team has a player down, but I hope they are all right. So far in the second half, what have you noticed different between this playing and the playing in the first half?
I definitely say, like you said, a little bit of not as organized, more of individual, like taking it up, which as long as they have support is good. But maybe putting it to the pods and then popping it back out to the backs. Still a lot of using the pods, but there's been quite a few cases where there's an overload on the outside for both teams.
All right, looks like it was a Morris player who was down, but she has decided to get back up herself, and I think she's going to remain in the game because the sub Morris put in is coming right back off the field. We will resume play with a scrum, and it will be in Morris's favor. We've been seeing a few injuries this game. This ref has been very good about stopping the game when he sees a player down, because obviously safety is of the utmost importance, and I feel like I just keep saying that this game, but that's just one of the rules of sport, not just rugby. All right, Morris wins their scrum, and the ball goes out. Wonderful bursting, but that was a little bit high. Looks like there will be no call. Strong running by Emily Van Doren. There it is. Yep.
Is that no advantage gained?
Looks like player will remain down. We're going to take another little brief pause. Up until now, it has been very clean rugby. But like I said, the farther you get into a game, especially if it's competitive, people are getting tired. People tend to get sloppy. So hopefully that Morris player is going to be all right.
So just a super physical game in general.
Yeah. But competitiveness and physicality is not a bad thing. It leads both teams to be more motivated, and most often it does work well to both teams' advantage. Unfortunately, sometimes there is just, never intentional, but of course sometimes you just get caught in a situation. Looks like our Morris player has gotten up and will remain in the game. So kudos to Emily Van Doren. And Morris is going to have a toe and go to resume. And Abby Cirillo will run with it. And it's out to the forward pods. Almost fumbled. That is right out of my line of vision. What happened, Reagan?
So Corning, we will have line out.
Line out right in front of us. We'll have a great view for this one.
Yep, Corning went over to try to counter-ruck and just lost their footing is all.
You always want to get low in those rucks, but too low will hurt you. All right, so Morris will have a line out. The lineouts seem to have been pretty even today.
Right at the 50.
All right. Not a super high lift, but good line out by both teams nonetheless. And Morris will try to swing it out wide as Corning tries to reassemble their defensive positioning.
Still seems like Corning is quite bunched. only
again.
leaving 1 or 2 on the outside of either.
Yep, the ref is going to call the delay penalty again. There will be another toe and go. Will she run or will she kick? They're going to take this moment. Yep. All right. Forwards are there in a pod. All right. Looks like Cording has been able to stop the Morris offense. The very strong defensive presence. Can they keep it up, though? Morris has made their way past the 50 and continuing to make their way down the field. Strong running by Emily Starkweather, our try scorer of the day for Morris. And
Nice fake.
strong run by Amanda Corfin. Support is there for the ruck, and they will continue passing it out to their backs. Cording has learned from their lesson, though, and support is there. Having a hard time getting Morris down, though, and that is Maria Wise, I believe. All right, ref is going to call the delay penalty again, and Morris will get a fresh start.
Looks like they're calling the captains out
Yep.
for a chat.
Game has been a little sloppy for the last few minutes, so not surprising. So ref's just going to have a little chat with them.
ALIPRS, lowercase.
Sorry, folks, some technical difficulties. Morris will resume play with their possession, passing it out, making their way down the field. A few short passes between players. They have made their way closer to us on this side of the field. Strong running by Anna Y. Support is there as soon as she goes down.
Seems like Corning's a little bit more spread out this time.
Yep, I think that throughout this game they have just been able to improve both their defense and offense, learning from the way that Morris is playing and the competitiveness of this game.
Nice.
She's
low
able to
tackle.
poach off the ruck. There has only been, I believe, one other poach so far this game, and that just shows how strong the rucking is for both teams. It's another turnover. Morris has regained possession. Corning has regained possession, and the ref is going to blow the whistle. Looks like there was a forward pass, and there will be another scrum.
Just a very back and forth game right now.
Towards the first half of this game, the back and forth was mostly due to the physicality of both teams and their competitiveness. Unfortunately, as we near the end of this game, the back and forth is because of sloppiness by both teams, but that just shows how hard they've been working this whole game. They're definitely tired. Even though the game's not over yet, I hope that they can continue to play
Another
the
put
good
in,
game of rugby.
push.
They're going to go with an
It's an
8-man
8.
pick by Kayla Ronsky as Emily Van Doren makes her way down the field on the far end.
Looks like they're right about the 22 right now.
Kind of hard to see with the slope the field is on. And unfortunately, there was a turnover. Corning has possession right near the try zone as they will try to make their way back down the whole field. Another whistle. We heard from our producer that Emily Van Doren is the reason for this turnover in favor of Morris.
It's a very smart play, holding on to the ball to catch the not releasing call on the other team.
Absolutely, and if a player knows how to do it right, it'll work in their advantage every time.
Also very frustrating as the person down on the ground, because no matter how much you try and show that you're not releasing the ball, sometimes it's just that it looks like not releasing to the ref.
Yep. I definitely jinxed this, though, about 10 minutes ago when I said, oh, there hasn't been that many scrums. The forwards must be having it. Because now the set pieces in this game have just been back and forth and back and forth. Lineouts and scrums and whatnot. So Corning will start making their way down the field with some strong runners as Morris tries to redefine their defensive line.
Yeah, that throw-in didn't seem the most straight, but the ref doesn't call it.
we can hear from the sideline that Morris is trying to tell the players on the field to spread a little bit wider, worrying that Corning will take advantage of the width of the field.
Not rolling away.
Yep. Morris tried to take the ball back, but unfortunately it did not work. And Corning will kick it, and it will find touch at right about the 10. And we will have another line out. Not sure how much time is left in this game. Unfortunately, due to the stoppages we've had, it's hard to guesstimate. But for sure, we are somewhere near the end. I'm not going to trust Chris O'Brien on this one because yesterday he gave me a 5 to 7 minute interval and the game ended in 2 minutes. So, not even going to ask.
He says about 2 minutes this time.
All right. Corning was good on the line out, and now they will continue passing. Unfortunately, a little bit of sloppiness. And
Another scrum.
Yep, there it is.
I've seen a lot of very big, well-executed pushes by Morris.
Yes, and unfortunately there are guidelines with how far you can push in high school rugby. But I know that the Packs are definitely keeping this in mind because there hasn't been any, unsafeness in the scrums. Nobody has fallen over. Nobody has turned so much. It has been pretty even. Corning won their own scrum.
Nice strong take, on pace.
And they are again choosing to just short pass to the forwards right next to the breakdown and try to make their way through Morris's defense. Morris has yet to reestablish a straight line for defense, so I'm hoping to see that formed. However, they have been able to continue to stop Corning's offense. Ball has remained in pretty much the same area of the field for the last few minutes.
Yeah, Corning has the ball, but they don't seem to be too steep.
And here is what Morris was worried about happening. They have decided to use the width of the field to their advantage. Strong running, breaking through tackles. I can't get a number because of the amount of bodies on her, but once she gets back up, that is 20-something. It's either 23 or 25. So it was 25. I will get a name on that soon. All right, our strong runner right there was Desiree Stickler.
Corning gets it back, though, deeper this time.
And again, they're choosing to take it out wide, which worked for them last time and is working for them again because Morris has not regained the width and straightness of a defensive stature.
Can't see the number on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are very far away from us on the field.
Maybe 23.
Very strong offense by Corning. They have made their way down the field rather quickly and rather powerfully. Morris is just trying to stop them.
By Morris, looks like.
And they are able to get a turnover.
Morris
And
gets it back.
ball is not going to find touch. Battle inside the ruck. Corning regains possession off of that kick and are making their way down the field pretty close to the try line. Is this how the game will end?
Looks like ball's not quite in yet. Ref is telling them they're short. Corning gets it back.
Morris has been able to stop them so far. And hard to tell what's going on. Ball's out again, another runner with it, and
It's like a ball.
yep.
Corning gets down this time.
They're going to keep attempting, but Morris has done well stopping them. Morris needs to regain their presence out there, though, because if she had
Ball's
caught
out.
that pass, that would have been a try.
Corning gets it back.
Morris making their way over to that area of the field to stop Corning. And unfortunately, It does not work for them. Ref has not called a try yet, however. A little bit of discussion over there. All right.
Just be held up or knock on.
Knock on. Knock on by Corning. That is unfortunate. They were so close to that try zone. They were working for it.
That was a double movement on Corning.
For those of you who don't know what that means she got down with the ball and then got right back up again without releasing the ball and tried to slide her way into the try zone because they were so close. Kicking the ball again, it will find touch, and that will be game. Morris is able to keep their lead, 14-12. Corning almost had it right there at the end. That try would have ended the game with a win. So now, let's discuss our players of the game. I definitely have a player in mind for both teams, but I would love to hear your input first, Reagan.
You know, I definitely a lot of good plays by Abby Cirillo, who was making just all over the ball on and off defense. As far as Corning goes, a couple strong pushes by I think number 11 Julia Gridley, as well as number 25 Desiree Stickler had a couple good plays as well.
I like both of those as well. Number 25 was late into the game, a sub during the second half, but she made her presence known because as soon as she was in, we were saying her name quite a bit. I like both of your choices for that team as well. I think for me, I am going to say that it's going to be number 11 Julia Gridley for Corning. And I will agree with Abby Cirillo for Morris. So we will get them in here soon, and we will have a guest interviewer for them, and that will be Mackenzie.
Yep. We'd call Desiree an impact sub. Making an impact.
All right. Abby Cirillo and Julia Gridley.
Okay. You want an honorable mention on the 10 as well? Do a double?
Although she will not be player of the game, we will honorable mention number 10, Catherine Yang, from Corning. She is one of their few seniors who will be attending UNC Chapel Hill. So, very good game by her and strong leadership as well on the field. As we bring over our two players of the match, both teams are going to do a little breakdown, so it might be a few minutes.
Test that mic, you should hear yourself.
Test.
Okay, we're going to pause for now.
Welcome to our interview section. This is Abby Cirillo from Morris, and we're going to ask her a couple questions. So, what do you think went well for these games?
I think that our line speed really helped because they got it outside a few times, but then we stopped them before they could get it all the way out. And I thought that our forwards were really tough and kept on pushing them, and their forwards were good, but we were better.
What do you guys think we can improve on as a team, as in Morris?
Okay, I definitely think our line speed has gotten a lot better, but I feel like our line speed could be a lot better. I feel like we should also set up pods a little bit quicker, But overall, I think we're doing really good this season.
I thought that our pods were really good, but sometimes like when our 10 called called for the backs, then they were still there, so they need to just get through a little bit faster.
And what are you guys looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Mars and Nationals. I'm very excited. Yay!
Mars again.
All right, thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Welcome back. So we are here with some of the Corning girls. Ladies, can you introduce yourselves?
I'm Catherine O'Young.
I'm Julia Gridley.
All right, nice. So what do you think you guys could improve on for your team?
You go first.
I would say firing more. Like, we got to get up there faster and, like, definitely be with someone. We got to, like, follow each other and, yeah.
Yeah, security is big. I'd say another big thing. I think we're better offensively than we are defensively. I think it just comes easier to us. So defensively, I think we still need to work on, like we've seen improvement this weekend defensively a lot, but we still need to work on looking up on defense, especially if you're not right next to the ruck, so that the person who's at the ruck can call out when we should be firing up. That way we know where the people are offensively.
All right, what do you guys think went well for you guys this game?
Honestly, just like not going crazy. Like, I don't know how to explain that more. It's more like running the script. We were talking a lot again about ball security, also about following the structure so that we wouldn't get lost and the people would know where everybody was going. So it was good. Like from yesterday to today, I've seen improvement all throughout the team. So
Yeah, I'd say we did good at the end by staying, like, calm and, like, not, like, over pushing it and getting into many penalties, like, so yeah.
yeah, we did well with that. Yeah, learning from our mistakes. How's that?
Yeah.
All right, and what are you ladies excited for the rest of the season?
I'm excited to learn more about rugby because this is my first year, and yeah, I'm really excited to learn more.
I want to execute my first grubber ever. Like, I was this close this weekend. I'm going to do it. Don't you worry. I will get there. So, yeah.
All right, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Mackenzie for that interviewing, and we are going to take a quick break before our next game of the day. So let's have a little word from, oh, no, never mind. We're going to interview our coaches. All right, give Steph back the mic.
Test. Okay, we're good. Hey, guys. I think it's going to be tough for the three of us to get into this screen here. But, hey, guys, I'm here with the Corning coaching staff. Gents, terrific weekend. You brought some talent down to northwestern Jersey, and we're super happy to have you guys. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm head coach Bob McGee.
Assistant coach Mike Larrabee.
So what went well for you guys today, yesterday and today? Let's cover the whole weekend.
You know, I think this group of girls really came together and found themselves this week. We've been together trying to work on this since the beginning of March, and it's been a number of weekends where we've had very challenging games, and we've grown and we've grown. We only have 3 seniors, and only 2 of them have played before. So we were a young, inexperienced team and really started growing these last couple of weeks. And I think this was the best weekend of rugby that we've played. We really brought everything together. Our physicality, our attacking shape. I was extremely proud of our defense. We were organized. We tackled extremely well in all 3 games. And I just think they grew and learned a ton this weekend.
I couldn't agree more. Coach, what do you have to add?
I just think the big thing this weekend is we've really established roles on the team going into this weekend. We have our game breakers, we have our role players. Everybody has understood the assignment all weekend, and that really gelled in. And I mean, we've played a lot of the EGRL teams leading up to this. We were in North Bay, we were down in West Carroll. We've put a big task in front of the girls this season, and we're kind of seeing it. And now it's how do we keep reaching towards a peak till our state championships and the showcase weekend.
Yeah, just to kind of add to that, we had told the girls we were trying to ramp up to a couple of different weekends, and this was really, we tried to ramp up to our tour down to Baltimore area, and then we're like, all right, we're going to ramp up to this weekend, and then we got to ramp up to the New York State Championships in June 3rd. So that's kind of our next ramp up now. We got a couple of weeks to fine tune, improve, and come out and play our best rugby again.
Guys, I can't wait to see it because I was duly impressed with the rugby that I saw coming out of that blue hoop jersey this weekend. And, we're looking forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks for coming down to Western Jersey.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for having us, guys.
You bet. Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Corning coaching staff, thanks, guys.
All right, and now that all of our interviews are done, great interviews with Corning players, Corning coaches, and Morris players, we are going to take a quick commercial break before our next game, which will be a Motley game with all players who want to play. So we'll see you soon.
And now a hat tip to our sponsors. The EGRL is supported by Basecamp 31. What's that? Well, we're so glad you asked. Located in Clinton, New Jersey, and incorporated way back in 2004, Basecamp 31 is a nonprofit that works to build and support efforts that improve health, build community, and promote personal development. The kinds of things that push people to grow and communities to thrive, like the Elite Girls Rugby League. Learn more at basecamp31.org. And Steamroller Rugby Supply. Look, here's the bottom line. Rugby isn't just some game where you throw the ball backward. It's a global tribe. It's not only about sharp skills, it's about looking sharp and a high-quality kit. When you want top quality at fair prices with personalized service, you want Steamroller Rugby Supply. Visit us at steamrollerrugby.com. Have you ever noticed how many sports leagues and teams are sponsored by physical therapists, trainers, and other similar professionals? It's almost like they're expecting you to get hurt and want to be top of mind. Not if, but when you do. What would you call a team of those same types of professionals that do treat injuries but spend most of their time working with you to prevent them instead? Some people call them crazy. They call themselves proactivity, and their customers usually call them first. It's not rehab, it's human achievement, and they've been doing so with top athletes and employers since 1998. Got a business that would get into supporting these great athletes too? We'd love to have you advertise with us. Send our ad minions a note. Email admin@egrl.org.
black, pretty much. So, unfortunately, since this is a Motley game, we do not have rosters because all the teams are combined with multiple teams. So we'll have our first try this soon in the game by white number 12, I want to say.
I will say there's a lot of benefit to running these Motley crews and to playing with people that are not in your team.
OP jersey possession.
Not quite sure if that kick was 10, but it was played by the OP jerseys.
Yep. We have the same ref that we had in our first game. Did a great job. Into touch, and it will land right next to our camera tent.
And then on top.
So we will have our first set piece of the game, but did not follow through with that because white never connected.
Yep, in order for a maul to be considered a maul, the other team
is going to say diving into the ruck again. So it's going to be a black Morris jersey ball. A lot of strong runs by multiple players. None really standing out at the moment. Seems to be good team effort. Looks like white player 21, who is more strong defensive line, but once you get past them, you're pretty much gone. So they're going to keep taking advantage of that until black can solve the problem.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of talent out there on the field, from what I can see. A lot of these players are playing for the first time so far today, a defensive front, but it is not working as black continues making their way down the field. I can hear a lot of communication on the field. Hopefully their first kickoff. Looks like black jersey number 20 is going to be the kicker, and we will see. This seems to be like...
I believe it's 12-5.
Sounds about right. I do not know the outcome. There was a whistle. All right, looks like there was some diving into the ruck from what I can see, and white is going to choose to kick it into touch, and we will have another line out on the far side of the field. Sydney Sibilia, who is a captain of the Morris team, so is Nessa McLaughlin. I should have mentioned that. Looks like black is making their way down the field pretty strongly by number 16 on black, making her way through some of white's defense.
I think the black jerseys are a little bunched. Obviously, with the slope of the field, you can't quite see how wide they are.
I would agree. I wouldn't say they're in pods, but could not tell you which team she was playing for. However, I do remember that she was their number 8, and she had a very strong presence on the field. She made some great tackles yesterday. Looks like the lineout was on this end of the field for black, whereas there are 4 or 5 defensemen on white ready for them to come over here.
Yeah, I think if the ball gets turned over like it just did, I think that side will be in trouble.
If they pass it out over here, they're
talking to the people next to you as well as listening to those that may need help is a key part of rugby.
Yep. So we will, I think, lineouts when we have less people. All right, black has made their way, has passed the ball back towards this side of the field, trying to use the width. White is kind of bunched. They have yet to establish catch the second number on that jersey, but that was very strong running by whatever player that was, breaking through the defense, taking a few players to tackle her.
Yeah, Nessa.
They continue this momentum. A try will be called soon. From this angle, I cannot tell how far away they are, but they are pretty darn close, looking like trying to take advantage of that far end of the field as white tries to spread out. Running, good passes, and they have good momentum so far as they try to establish some offense. White established a little bit of a presence, scoring the first 2 tries of the game, but black has had no problem coming back, and it really comes down to the motivation and perseverance of themselves out when they need a break.
Yep, and that kick was taken by number 26, who was, I correct myself, the person that was following their pass on the last one.
Yesterday. It was awesome. That will be, yep, number 1 on black. White trust is going to help a lot if both teams don't really know each other. Looks like it was a turnover. White has regained possession. Strong run by white's number 10 to establish them up the field, and
on the outside,
number 13. Smart offload to number 11 and another one to number 10. Unfortunately, she dropped the ball, but it went backwards, so it's okay. They keep possession, and number 11 is able to touch it down for a try. Well deserved. We have 5 minutes. We are going to take a commercial break, and we'll see you at the second half.
And now a hat tip to our sponsor, Global Tribe. It's not only about sharp skills, it's about looking sharp and a high-quality kit. When you want top quality at fair prices with personalized service, you want steamroller athletes and employers since 1998. Got a business that would get into supporting these great athletes too? We'd love to have you advertise with us. Send our ad minions a note.
All right, our second half is about to begin as we come back from our halftime break. Both teams using this break to establish who was going to start and of those people who was going to play which position, because these teams are Motley.
Increase in tries towards the end of that first half.
I do think that the first half of this game was great, but I think the second half is going to be even better now that all of these...
White is on it.
Yep. All right, looks like they are going to call the high tackle now on Black's. Well, the high tackle happened to Black's. So she has definitely had a lot of good plays so far this game. I think a lot of players have been able to showcase their true abilities. There's not really a up to restart play with another kickoff. Black is trying to figure out who's going to take it. Looks like there's going to be a whistle and a quick start by White's number 12, I think. A lot of passes between White's players, and although Caitlin ran it a little far to score her own try, before that, lots of passes, great communication, team efforts, and support was there. If Caitlin had gotten they'll gain possession off of their own kick, but it is
Successful poach by Liz Hansen.
and great running. Nobody can get her down. To have our first scrum of the game. Instead, we're going to have a kick again right to our tent. Thank you, Nessa, for kicking it right at our tent. And we will have
to be their forwards, but perhaps White just is not. Maybe has not done that.
White, perchance during those breaks, was preparing for other points of the game. And look, so we finally have a scrum. My words worked. There was a knock on by Black. I am very excited for this scrum because with these forwards just breaking through all of Black's defense and
beating through.
Yep, she has support there. If she had gotten tackled, 15 and 11 were right nearby. So far, though, is the White team.
Yeah, I think they've just done at this point a little bit of a better job connecting with each other on both sides of the.
Gonna be on the far end of the field. This time it's Black as the one running in last.
There's a seam that Black may have knocked it on.
Looks like a battle.
Does not look like there's any advantage.
Nope. Black will regain possession, but. All right, we're going to go with a toe and go for White. Right there for support.
Narrowly catches it.
And looks like Black has regained possession. No.
Penalty.
All right. And White number 12 is going to make a run for it, and she is able to put it down pretty much near the upper end.
Conversion is good.
I think Nessa should have passed there before running. She has a lot of support out wide, and White seems to be pretty bunched over here, so we'll see how far they can take it. Is all right. They are taking this break to have some water and hopefully discuss what they can improve on.
Yep, so you definitely did jinx it this time, again.
But I'm glad I did, though, because there haven't been too many in this game so far, and I think that this is going to teach a lot of these girls not getting much yardage forward. And
I think
White
White
has
took
been able to
advantage
take
of
it
that.
back. Yep.
Little grubber.
Will keep the ball. We have White number 20 making her way down the field. That was the player who was down earlier. Glad to see that she is back and better than ever.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot to be said for the ball.
Presented by these girls who have not played together normally.
Yeah, you know, White had a little bit of trouble at the start to connect, but
So I just got word that we have about 3 minutes left. Would love to see if Black can make an effort to score again. That ball did not go 10. White did not touch it. So, look.
to get that to their backs pretty quickly.
I think that was a strong decision because at least one kickoff of this game, Black was able to kick it and keep possession off the kick. The important thing about this game is momentum. If you're going to run into somebody tackling you, you want to run through them. That's exactly what that Black player is doing right now. She ran onto the ball, which there, and White will take the ball back and start passing it out, looking for an opening.
Quick support.
Yep, picking it off right from the ruck. White's number 5 making her way down the field. He just gave one finger up and then signaled the end. So it will be, I think, one more play, and then that will be game.
Yep.
So at the last scrum at the 50 in favor of White, Black was able to win it because of their strong ability when 10 yards of this sideline near us.
Looks like they're slowly spreading out.
Yep, Black has the ball back. Only have one option in which direction to pass the ball. Great running.
Yep, so it greatly benefits Black.
Where White did not move on defense, and smart play. Nessa McLaughlin will kick it out, and that will not be game. We will have a line out. Players running over here to support. That might have been a little forward, but we're not going to call it.
Yep, it didn't seem that that one pass was meant.
His whistle. I did not see what he signaled. White is going to Togo, pass it out.
Running east and west.
A lot of good sportsmanship out there on the pitch today.
Yep, I agree.